All right, looks like someone's been doing their homework. You've given us a ton of stuff on home automation, articles, research papers, even some personal notes. Whether you're prepping for a big presentation or just diving into a new obsession, we're going to help sort it all out. So get ready for a deep dive into the world of smart homes. From their surprising beginnings to the mind-blowing possibilities of the future.
And you might be surprised to learn just how far back this idea of a smart home goes. It's not all sleek touchscreens and voice assistants.
That's right. So are you ready to unlock some aha moments about how our homes got so smart?
Absolutely. To really understand where we are, we need to go back to the beginning. Forget fancy gadgets. We're talking early 1900s, a time when the concept of convenience was just starting to take shape.
So no robot butlers yet.
Not quite, but think about those early appliances that revolutionized housework, like the washing machine, the refrigerator, the vacuum cleaner. They may seem commonplace now, but back then, they were game changers.
It's funny how we take those things for granted, isn't it?
Exactly. Those innovations were all about automating tasks, freeing up time and energy. It's the foundation of what we now call home automation.
Imagine trying to explain to someone back then that one day their house would be adjusting the thermostat for them, or brewing their coffee before they even woke up.
They'd probably think you're talking about magic. But the seeds of that idea were already being planted. In fact, the term smart home pops up in the 1960s.
Okay, but hold on. No Wi-Fi, no smartphones. How did these early smart homes actually work?
Well, picture this. Dedicated control panels, often hardwired into the home's electrical system, with a jumble of switches and dials. Not exactly user-friendly by today's standards.
It really makes you appreciate how far we've come. But there was a pretty significant stepping stone in the 1970s, the X10 protocol.
X10, that was a big leap forward. Imagine being able to control devices remotely using your existing electrical wiring. No need to rip open walls and install new wires everywhere. A major win at the time.
So no more running extension cords across the house just to turn on a lamp. But things really exploded when the internet came along, didn't they?
Absolutely. The late 90s and early 2000s saw this huge shift towards wireless systems, making installation a breeze. And with the rise of smartphones, we suddenly had these powerful, always connected control centers right in our pockets. Suddenly, the concept of a truly connected home felt within reach.
Which leads us to a real turning point, the Nest thermostat in 2011. This wasn't just about remote control anymore. This was a device that could learn your preferences and adjust itself to save energy. A thermostat that could think for itself. What were the implications of a device like that?
The Nest thermostat really shifted the conversation. This wasn't just about setting a timer anymore. It was about the home starting to understand your needs and acting on them. That's a huge leap towards the vision of a truly personalized living space.
And it's not just about comfort. That kind of intelligent automation has real implications for things like energy efficiency and cost savings too. Pretty impressive.
It is. And then, just as we were getting used to smart thermostats, we entered the era of voice assistants. Alexa, Google Assistant, Siri. And we started talking to our houses.
It's amazing how quickly we went from, is this thing gonna work? To, hey Google, dim the lights and play some jazz.
Right, voice control really changed the game. It's intuitive, hands-free, and powered by artificial intelligence that's constantly learning and improving. It's made interacting with technology feel more natural and seamless.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we interact with it, how it fits into our lives.
Exactly. But as home automation has become more sophisticated, it's also brought new challenges. One of the biggest is the issue of interoperability.
Right. Having all these cool gadgets is great, but what happens when they don't play nice with each other? I've definitely experienced my fair share of frustration trying to get different devices to work together.
We've all been there. It's the classic ecosystem challenge. You've got different brands, different protocols, different platforms, and it can be a real headache trying to get everything to communicate seamlessly.
So what are some of the solutions to this?
Well, there are efforts underway to create a common language for smart home devices, like the Matter standard. The goal is to make it easier for different devices to work together, regardless of the brand.
That sounds like that would be a game changer for the industry.
It could be. But of course, with all this connectivity comes another big question.
You're talking about security, right?
Exactly. As our homes become more connected, the stakes get higher when it comes to protecting our data and privacy. I mean, we're letting these devices into the most intimate parts of our lives. It's natural to wonder, is someone going to hack my fridge? Is my smart speaker listening to my every conversation? These are legitimate concerns.
Definitely. So what are some of the things that manufacturers are doing to address these security concerns?
Well, cybersecurity is a top priority for most reputable manufacturers. They're investing heavily in encryption, secure protocols, and other measures to safeguard user data. They know that trust is paramount in this space.
So it's not just about making our homes smarter, it's about making them safer too.
Exactly. It's a balancing act. But let's not dwell on the challenges just yet. The future of home automation is incredibly exciting, and we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Okay, so paint us a picture. What does this future actually look like?
Imagine a world where your home anticipates your needs, where technology fades into the background and simply enhances your everyday life.
I'm picturing waking up to natural light, gently filling my room. As my smart home automatically adjusts the temperature to my liking, my coffee is already brewing, and my personalized newsfeed is playing softly in the background.
Precisely. And as you head out the door, your home seamlessly transitions to an energy-saving mode, making sure lights are off and appliances are powered down.
Wow, it's like having an invisible butler taking care of everything.
And that's just the beginning. With advancements like 5G and edge computing, we're talking about even faster processing and real-time decision-making.
Okay, hold on. Edge computing, you've lost me there. Can you break that down for me?
Sure. Edge computing basically means that instead of all the processing happening in some far-off data center, it's happening right in your home, on your devices. This makes everything faster and more responsive. It's a key enabling technology for the future of smart homes.
So we're talking about a truly seamless and personalized experience. What role will sustainability play in this future? You mentioned energy efficiency earlier, but I'm curious to hear more about how smart homes can help us live more sustainably.
Sustainability is becoming a core principle in smart home design. We're talking about homes that are not just intelligent, but also eco-conscious. Imagine homes that optimize energy and water usage, based on real-time conditions and your personal habits. We're already seeing homes equipped with solar panels that can generate their own renewable energy, reducing their reliance on fossil fuels.
So it's not just about convenience and personalization. It's about using technology to create homes that are both intelligent and responsible. It sounds like the future of home automation is about creating homes that work in harmony with both our lives and the environment.
You got it.
This is all incredibly fascinating. What stands out to you, listener? Are you excited, skeptical, or somewhere in between? What's one thing that comes to mind when you imagine your future smart home? Let us know. We're just getting started on our deep dive into home automation. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore.
So we just painted a pretty incredible picture of what the future of home automation could hold.
It does sound amazing, almost too good to be true.
And that's where we need to pause and consider some of the potential downsides.
Right, because as with any powerful technology, there are always ethical and societal implications to consider. What are some of the concerns that come to mind for you?
One of the biggest concerns is definitely data privacy. Smart homes collect a tremendous amount of data about us, our habits, our preferences, even our movements within the house.
So my house knows when I'm staying up late,
Right.
watching reality TV. Should I be worried?
Well, maybe not about the reality TV, but the point is all this data could potentially be used in ways that we don't anticipate or necessarily agree with. It's not just about embarrassing habits, it's about sensitive information. That could be used for things like targeted advertising, profiling, or even discrimination.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's not the technology itself that's inherently bad, it's how it's used and who controls it.
Precisely. And that brings us to another issue: digital equity. Smart homes are becoming more and more common, but they're not accessible to everyone. The cost of devices, reliable internet access, and even the technical know-how can create a digital divide.
So there's a risk that the benefits of home automation will only be enjoyed by a privileged few, while others are left behind.
It's a real concern. We need to think about affordability, accessibility, and education to make sure that everyone can benefit from these advancements, not just those who can afford it.
What about the impact on jobs? Are robots going to take over our homes and leave people out of work?
It's a valid question. As home automation becomes more sophisticated, there's definitely the potential for job displacement in certain sectors, like home maintenance or security.
So we need to think about retraining and creating new opportunities in emerging fields. Related to smart home technology, it sounds like we need to be proactive about preparing for these changes.
Absolutely. We can't just ignore the potential downsides. We need to anticipate them and find solutions.
Okay, so we've talked about data privacy, digital equity, job displacement. What other ethical concerns are on your radar?
Well, there's the whole question of autonomy and control. As our homes become more automated, are we surrendering too much control to algorithms and corporations? Are we becoming too reliant on technology?
I love the idea of my house anticipating my needs, but I also don't want to feel like I'm living in a carefully curated bubble where every decision is made for me.
I hear you. There's a fine line between convenience and complacency. We need to be mindful of how much decision-making power we're giving up and make sure that we retain agency over our own lives.
So it's not just about making our homes smarter. It's about making them more human-centered, a place where technology serves us, not the other way around.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's about finding that sweet spot where technology enhances our lives without diminishing our humanity.
Speaking of the human element, I'm curious about the psychological impact of all this. How is living in a smart home affecting our relationship with our homes and with each other?
That's a great question, and there's definitely a psychological dimension to consider. On one hand, smart homes can create a sense of safety, security, and convenience, which can reduce stress and improve our well-being. I mean, who doesn't love coming home to a perfectly lit and temperature-controlled environment?
Right. And knowing that your security system is armed and your doors are locked can give you peace of mind, especially when you're away from home. It's like having an extra set of eyes watching over things.
Exactly. But on the other hand, there's a risk of becoming overly reliant on technology and losing some of those essential life skills.
Like forgetting how to turn on a light switch. Because you're so used to just saying, hey Google, lights on.
Huh. Well, maybe not that extreme, but it's a valid point. We need to find a balance between embracing the benefits of technology and maintaining our own capabilities.
And what about the social aspect? Could all this automation lead to more isolation and a decline in face-to-face interaction?
It's a valid concern. While technology can connect us in many ways, it's important to make sure that it doesn't come at the expense of real-world human connection. I mean, video chatting with family across the country is great, but it's not the same as actually spending time together in person.
So true. It's like anything else. Moderation is key. Technology should enhance our relationships, not replace them.
Exactly. We need to be intentional about using technology
that's your song.
in a way that promotes connection and fosters a sense of community.
So it's not just about making our homes smarter, it's about making them more human-centered. A place where technology serves us, not the other way around. We need to think about the design and aesthetics too.
You're absolutely right. Early smart homes often felt very tech-forward, but not necessarily stylish or inviting. It was all about functionality over form. But as smart home technology has matured, there's been a growing emphasis on design and aesthetics. People want their smart homes to be beautiful, not just functional.
Right. I mean, if I'm going to have all these gadgets in my home, I want them to look good and blend in with my decor. It shouldn't feel like I'm living in a science experiment.
Exactly. And manufacturers are responding to that demand. We're seeing sleeker designs, more integrated systems, and a wider range of styles to choose from. Smart home technology is becoming more and more integrated into the fabric of our homes, both functionally and aesthetically.
So it's not just about having a smart home. It's about having a beautiful smart home that reflects your personal style and enhances your living space.
Precisely. And that's a trend that I think we'll continue to see in the future. As home automation becomes more mainstream, it's about creating spaces that are both technologically advanced and aesthetically pleasing.
We've covered a lot of ground here, from the excitement of emerging technologies to the ethical considerations and the psychological impact. It's clear that home automation is about so much more than just cool gadgets.
It really is. It's a complex and evolving landscape, full of possibilities. But it's important that we approach these advancements with both enthusiasm and a critical eye, ensuring that they serve humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. Now, listener, we know you've been following along diligently, and we appreciate your insightful questions so far. What has resonated with you the most in our discussion so far? Are you feeling more excited about the possibilities, or more cautious about the potential downsides? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Hold on to those questions as we shift gears and dive into some of the most exciting developments, shaping the future of home automation in Part 3. Our deep dive is time to wrap up our exploration of home automation. We've journeyed from the dawn of convenience to the mind-blowing potential of the future. And frankly, my head is buzzing with possibilities. And a few what-ifs too.
It has been quite a journey, hasn't it? From those early appliances that simplified chores, to the AI-powered ecosystems that are transforming our homes, into intelligent, responsive environments. And we delved into some pretty thought-provoking questions along the way.
We did. We talked about data privacy, digital equity, the impact on jobs, the psychological effects, it's clear that home automation is about so much more than just cool gadgets.
Absolutely. It's about how we want to live, how we interact with technology, and ultimately how we shape the future of our homes and our lives.
You know, one thing that keeps coming back to me is the sheer pace of innovation in this field. What seemed like science fiction just a few years ago is becoming a reality faster than we can keep up.
That's the beauty and the challenge of technology, isn't it? It's constantly evolving, pushing boundaries, and redefining what's possible. In the realm of home automation, it feels like the possibilities are truly limitless. So let's have some fun and do a little crystal ball gazing.
Okay, I'm game. What are some of the emerging trends and innovations that have you most excited, maybe even a little nervous?
Well, one area that I find particularly fascinating and maybe a little unsettling is the integration of robotics into the home. We're starting to see robots that can handle tasks like vacuuming, mowing the lawn, even folding laundry.
Okay, now that's a game changer. I've always hated folding laundry. But seriously, it's amazing to think about how robots could free up our time and energy for other things.
It is, and it's not just about chores. Imagine robots that can assist with elder care, provide companionship, or even help with physical therapy. There's so much potential there to improve our lives in meaningful ways.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like having a personalized support system right in your home. But with all this advanced tech, we're going to need some serious tech support.
You're absolutely right. That's why we're seeing a rise in companies that specialize in smart home installation, maintenance, and troubleshooting. Not all of us are comfortable tinkering with complex systems.
Definitely not me. I can barely set up my Wi-Fi router without calling for help. But speaking of help, how does sustainability fit into all of this? We talked about energy efficiency before, but I'm curious to hear more about the role of smart homes in creating a more sustainable future.
Sustainability is a critical piece of the puzzle, and smart homes have a huge role to play in reducing our environmental impact. We're not just talking about individual homes being more energy efficient, we're talking about homes that can intelligently interact with the larger energy grid.
Right. I've read about homes that can monitor energy consumption in real time, optimize appliance usage,
Yeah.
and even sell excess energy back to the grid.
Exactly. And as the cost of renewable energy sources like solar panels continues to decline, we'll see more and more homes generating their own clean energy, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, and creating a more sustainable energy system.
So the future of home automation is not just about convenience and personalization. It's about creating homes that are both intelligent and responsible.
Well said. It's about finding that harmonious balance between technology and sustainability, creating a world where our homes are both innovative and eco-conscious.
And that's what makes this whole topic so fascinating, isn't it? It's not just about gadgets and gizmos, it's about envisioning a future where technology empowers us to live better, more fulfilling and more sustainable lives. It's a future that we're all creating together, whether we realize it or not.
Absolutely. As we continue to explore the possibilities of home automation, it's important to remember that it's a journey, not a destination. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks, but the potential for creating a truly remarkable future is undeniable.
So listener, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought. The future of home automation is not something that's being decided in some far-off Silicon Valley lab. It's being shaped by all us. Our choices, our priorities, our values, they all influence the direction of this incredible technology.
It's a collective effort, and who knows, maybe your future home is listening to this conversation right now.
Oh, and taking notes. Until next time, deep divers. Stay curious and keep exploring